What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this video is going to be a mini review of sorts of the Zofia's Call banner and the units which have come with this update. And I'm going to be sharing my thoughts with you guys, and you guys can also share your thoughts in the comments and let's have a chill discussion. So the first unit we have here is Catria. I also want to thank Mr. Gengar123 and Tsukasa for this data mine. All of these sources are going to be linked in the description. In these kinds of videos, I do compare the stats which I speculated in my first impression with the actual stats which they end up having, just to see how accurate I was. It's a pretty fun thing which I like to do. So Catria is here with 38 attack. Didn't expect that, honestly. I was expecting like 35 attack, but 38 attack is really good with her weapon, and just makes her really powerful. 36 speed, just 1 point off from the speed speculation. 30 defense is what I speculated, but she ends up having 27. Resistance is same as what I speculated. So I was not really all that far off when it came to her stats. And Catria herself is a pretty good unit as a sword flyer in terms of like Fire Emblem teams, because it turns out the damage which she can do from her weapon, it's actually true damage. So the thing is that in the English description, it comes off as if it's not true damage, but it actually in the Japanese description, it like says like it's true damage from what I've been told at least. So now because she is out, people have tested it out and she definitely does true damage, which is pretty good. But there's one thing which like she needs to meet the condition of, and that is having more attack than the defense of the foe. So for that, you need to have her with all of the attack you could possibly have on her. So having 38 base attack is really fantastic with that. And she already comes with a pretty functional base kit. Not really much that you have to change on her. Flyer formation could be run as a sacred seal and have like desperation on slot B if you are going to be using her in a Fire Emblem team. So that could be done. So in general, like she's a very powerful sword flyer, which is pretty good because Catria is quite a fan favorite. So yeah, Catria is definitely the star of this banner. Then the next unit we have is Silque. So Silque, I'm pretty off in my speculation because I expected her to have high attack, but it turns out she is extremely defensive. Now whenever you picked her up, like moved her in Shadows of Valentia, she would have this voice line, "The mother walks with me," and she quite literally meant that, because how else can a healer like Silque be so damn bulky? 35 defense, 31 resistance. That is insane for an infantry healer. So she does have 161 BST, I believe, or 162. No, I think she has got 161 BST. And she has got a bunch of super boons. So she's got speed super boon, defense super boon, and resistance super boon. So that makes her extremely tanky. And she also has a like HP super bane, I believe, which ends up having like 35 HP then. So yeah, Silque is a pretty good defensive healer. She does have workable attack stat at 33, so that's pretty good. And you could utilize her as an absorb plus healer, basically with close counter, to make her into a defensive healer. But still, like, she doesn't really have as much attack as Winter Erica, but she does have better mobility than her, so that's something. So she can act as a pretty good defensive healer. And another application of her is just like auto battle healer. Like I use Azama for that. If I end up getting a Silque, then I'm definitely going to be using her because I do like Silque more than Azama, obviously. So big fan of her voice acting, and also the song that she has sung in Shadows of Valentia, Heritors of Arcadia. Definitely recommend listening to that. Her voice is absolutely amazing. So really happy about Silque. She ends up being a pretty unique healer with really high defenses, really low speed, so she's going to get doubled by pretty much everything. But still, you know, if you run something like Absorb Plus, then you could have that kind of longevity basically. She doesn't have access to the fighter skills also, like Winter Erica, so she cannot really stall as like well as Winter Erica with something like Weary Fighter. But nonetheless, she's pretty defensive. That was definitely pretty surprising, honestly. And the next unit we have is a Forsyth to be reckoned with. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that code as a special, which is so like disappointing. But he has got everything that he could ask for in like a blue lance armor unit. High attack, low speed, which is min-max, high defense, workable resistance, which makes him a pretty amazing enemy phase unit. So he is really min-maxed. I didn't really expect him to be that min-maxed. I expected him to have 24 speed. He's got even less than that. I expected 39 attack. He's got 1 point more than that. 38 defense was something I was expecting. He ends up having 39. So I'm just 1 point off from his attack and defense. Resistance is 33. I expected 30. So overall, I was a bit close in terms of defense and attack speculation. Definitely didn't expect him to be that min-max, but it's kind of expected at this point, I guess, with armor units, because they are like for arena scoring. So yeah, he's really good as a tank. Soul Lance is a really good weapon because he can have better longevity, and even if he deals like 0 damage, which he's probably never gonna be doing unless he's like facing some kind of Triangle Adept or Emerald Axe user, always going to be doing some damage, and he can recover HP as well. So you could run something like Noontime Special Fighter, a distant counter that could be used in Ether Raid's offense. But once again, the poor armor movement and the armor weakness is definitely going to be holding him back, which it does with any kind of armor unit that you would use in Ether Raid's offense. So that's always going to be a problem. But if that's something you would like to do, then he could definitely be a Forsyth to be reckoned with in that regard. So yeah, not much to say. Pretty standard stuff for an armor unit. Very powerful, very beefy. That's pretty much it. He also got a preferred weapon, which I was not really expecting. So Soul Lance is pretty good in that regard. Conrad, I'm going to be talking about him later. And then we have got Python. So I was absolutely accurate when it came to his attack. I did calculate that right. I was only 1 point off from his speed. I didn't expect him to have this much defense. I thought they would not min-max it and they would just leave it like that, unoptimized. But they actually optimize his defense, which is pretty good. And he has got low resistance at 20. So Python is pretty similar to Sue, except for having like 38 base speed. Outside of that, he is just better in everything. He has got same attack and same resistance as her, has got more defense, so that is definitely pretty good. So if you didn't really get Sue, then you could have Python. The thing with Python is that he's probably going to be a demote unit from this banner, so he's easily mergeable. So definitely has better chances of seeing light of the day than Sue, who is a 5-star locked unit. And a lot of people might just fodder off Sue for Hone Speed 4 to their legendary Azuras. Python does have pretty good fodder in Shortbow Plus, Moonbow, and also Blue Tome Breaker, but still, you know, he's going to be available as a 4-star unit, hopefully after this banner is over. Hopefully he does get demoted. That is going to be making him the first colored dagger/bow unit who got demoted. So that is going to be pretty exciting. So with Python, you could also build him defensively because of his defense, running something like Close Counter after a lot of merges and investment. So that is definitely an expensive route. But if you just want to build him with cheap skills, then of course Fury, Swift Sparrow, stuff like that is usable on his Slaughter. And you could also run Sturdy Blow actually on his Sacred Seal because he does have a pretty decent defense for a Bow Cavalier. So that could be done. You definitely do not want to run Life and Death because that would just diminish his defense, which is actually quite usable. So that's Python, probably our next demote unit. And now let's talk about Conrad. So Conrad is going to be a... Conrad is going to be a Grandeur Battle unit coming up on 24th of October. So yeah, Python, as I said in my first impression video, he was looking like Alolan Berkut. And he is Alolan Berkut in the regard that he comes with Barrier Lance Plus, which is same as Berkut Lance Plus. And he is pretty slow. He does have better resistance than Berkut, but has less attack. So that's the trade-off of having more resistance. So it's really up to you which Cavalier you want to build. Like, Conrad can be slightly better, like defensively, but Berkut has got slightly more HP, like 3 more HP and better attack. So they are really similar to each other, which is kind of sad because Conrad is really popular and he could have been in the Farfetch'd banner and could have been much better with something like a preferred Blessed Lance that could heal up HP or something like that. So yeah, that's our boy Conrad, still usable nonetheless. Like, he's got the highest total of defense and resistance out of any kind of Lance Cavalier, but unfortunately the thing with like defensive Cavaliers is that they don't have access to a lot of the defensive skills which make defensive enemy face units really good, like breath skills, null, counter disrupt, stuff like that. They just cannot have access to that, so that's definitely pretty annoying. So he also comes with bracing stance as a 4-star skill. Source is going to be linked in description. I found this on the subreddit. I'm not really sure from what kind of Discord this is. So bracing stance 2 at 4-star and chill attack 3 at 5-star. So really amazing as a fodder. He might not be all that game breaking as a unit, but as a fodder, bracing stance 2 is an incredible enemy phase skill. So you could definitely use that with something like steady stance or warding stance as a sacred seal. So that could be done for like budget builds, and chill attack is also pretty good, even though it's a sacred seal. And yeah, that's our boy Conrad. He appears to be pretty cheerful in his voice lines actually. I don't remember him being that much cheerful in Shadows of Valentia, but I still like his voice acting a lot. And at last we have got our man Valbar. Leon must be really happy today on the release day of his partner, and his partner got released directly into the 3-star 4-star pool, so Leon does not have to save 1000 orbs to get Valbar. One thing which I really dislike which they have done with Valbar and Bantu is that they don't have the Gen 4 BST. So Valbar, instead of having something like 178 BST, he has got 173 BST. Now still you're able to hit like 175 BST after the merge, which is really good for Arena, but still like, why do that? We already have Valentine Ellwood at 175 BST and he was given away a while back. So any kind of unit that gets released directly into 3-star 4-star pool will not have Gen 4 BST, which is kind of disappointing. But taking a look at his stats, he is pretty much a better Gwendolyn. So if you're someone who has not built up his or her arena core, then instead of building up a Gwendolyn, you could build up Valbar. They've got same HP and same defense. Valbar has got more attack than Gwendolyn at the cost of having 2 less resistance, which is really not much. So he's just like a better Gwendolyn, so he could be built up eventually as a merge project. So he could be used as a score bot in Arena, and everything that Gwendolyn can do, Valbar can also do it. His skills are not really as impressive as Conrad's. He has got Obstruct 3 at 5-star, which is like, wow, you couldn't even give him Wary Fighter or something like that. HP Attack 2, which is actually a really useful skill, because you could give this skill to your healers and stuff like that. It's pretty good actually, and it can help you avoid stuff like Panic Manners, Tactic Rooms, just by increasing their HP a bit more for something like Ether Raid's offense, or Ether Raid's defense actually. So that could also work out. And then he has got Brave Lance Plus, which we saw in the trailer. Vengeance also is something which we saw. So not really the best fodder, but HP Attack 2 is pretty good. So yeah, let me know what are your thoughts about this banner and these units in the comment section down below. And are you going to be summoning on this banner or not? And how do you feel about Conrad? Are you someone who voted for Conrad in Choose Your Legends 3 and are disappointed to see him like this instead of being a far-fetched hero? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like. It's gonna be helping me tremendously with the YouTube algorithm and stuff, you guys know. And if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content and also Three Houses content. The finale is gonna be going up tomorrow most likely. And make sure to hit the notification bell and click on all so that you can always get the updates to my videos whenever I upload. Because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as intelligent systems when it comes to including some really popular codes of a unit in FEH. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.